Your body demands the hormones it was born to produce and need. End of story. Well, hello YouTube. I am just headed to the hardware store to get some bolts for my Jeep project I'm working on. I wanted to make another video talking about hormones for trans people. Specifically about hormones, HRT. The concept of someone who was born biologically male taking female hormones, or someone who was born biologically female taking male hormones. There's this idea, this concept that is perpetuated online and on YouTube by other trans people and by a lot of the mental health system, that portrays this idea that hormones are not what they really are. There's this idea that if you were born male and you identify as female, you can take female hormones and it will change your body to be female. I believed this. I took on this belief after watching all these videos online and watching these other trans women who were born male, but they identified as female, so they got a prescription for female hormones and they would take female hormones, and after a while their face would soften, their breasts would enlarge, and they would claim to feel so much happier and better in their body and things, and I saw that and I thought, wow, this is amazing. I didn't even know this was possible. I didn't even know it was possible to change my body to be female. I spent all my life hating my male body, hating myself as a male, and here is this magic pill I can take. A magic hormone pill that can change my body. Now, I believed that hormones were simply something that changed your body. I didn't realize how necessary hormones were to the body based on what the body formed as. See, if a body is formed as male, it depends upon continued male hormones to function properly. I, being born male, my body demanded to have testosterone because my body developed testicles rather than ovaries. When a baby is conceived and starts forming in its mother's womb, it will develop one way or the other, either male or female, right? There's a lot of factors that go into determining which way the baby will go, whether it will form testes or ovaries. Those are the ovaries are the testicles that form female into ovaries. Testicles are what would have been ovaries that formed into testicles. We know this from watching babies form for hundreds of years, from science. Actual science shows us this, that this is what happens, that the babies form one way or another, right? If a baby forms with testes and forms what we know to be male, those testicles then start producing testosterone, which then further supports that body in its formation as male. And that body then depends on testosterone continuing for the rest of its life. You cannot take the testosterone away and replace it with estrogen and expect that body to function. It just doesn't work that way. And a lot of trans people don't understand this. They don't understand the damage they're causing their body by doing this to themselves. They think that their mind, attaching to the idea that they should have been female, that taking female hormones is the right course of action. That is not the right course of action. It is damaging your body. It is destroying your body because your body formed male. It depends on testosterone continuing in order to function properly. All of your organs, your whole body is a delicate ecosystem. It's like a self-contained ecosystem that the conditions have to remain right throughout that body's existence for it to function properly. And we see all the time trans people who went on opposite sex hormones who begin to have health issues. Their organs start shutting down. Their muscles atrophy. They lose an ability to function in the same way that they used to. That's what happened to me. My muscles went away. My bone mass was going away. I was on estrogen for 6 years while in my delusion that this was the right course of action, while in this delusion that I was somehow born in the wrong body. That was the biggest lie that I was ever fed by the internets. When I was trying to find an answer for why do I feel like I'm a girl, but I'm clearly in a boy's body? What is going on here? What is this all about? And I would search online all the time for why do I feel like a girl? Why do I feel like I was born in the wrong body? And I could never find anything until I was in my 20s, luckily. Well, not luckily. Unfortunately and fortunately that it wasn't until my 20s that I found this. I came across this website, susansplace.org. It's an internet forum for trans people. And on that forum, I found all these other people that felt the way I did. And I was flabbergasted. I was absolutely blown away. I had no idea this was such a thing. I had no idea that there were other people out there in the world that felt the same way I did, as if they were born in the wrong body. I thought this was just some freak thing that I personally was dealing with. I thought I was the only person in the entire world that felt like somehow I had a boy body but a girl's brain. And it just didn't make any sense to me. So I was always trying to find answers and was searching online. Why do I feel like a girl? And then this susansplace.org popped up, and I find all these other people that felt the same way. And then as a result of their feeling that way, they started taking hormones, and then I watched their progression pictures and videos as they transitioned and claimed to be so much happier and feel so much more authentic to themselves and things. And so my mind, of course, saw that and said, "Whoa, wow, here's an answer for me. I can take female hormones and can change my body to be female, and I'll be happy. I'll be able to finally feel good in my body." That's not the way it works. And those who want to say, well, that wasn't right for you, but it's right for some people. No, it's not right for anybody because of biology. You can't say that because it's right for one person's mind to transition, to go on opposite sex hormones, that it's right for them. It's right for them only in that they've attached to that belief and think it's right for them, and so they continue on that path, continuing to be happy with that choice of taking hormones. But it's still not right. It's still defying your own biology and your health. On this earth, we are in human physical bodies, right? We're experiencing everything that we experience through this body. Our body has feelings and emotion, and we attach so much meaning to the feelings that we feel in our body as we're experiencing life. When you're standing there observing something and it triggers a feeling in your body, your mind recalls past experiences where you felt that feeling, and you literally make up in your mind this story that right here in this moment I'm experiencing a similar situation as I did in the past because of the feelings in our body. My whole experience has made me so aware of the impact of the feelings in my own body and how it plays out in my own life and how it plays out in other people's lives. How when we are living life and experiencing things, we're experiencing it through our bodies, with our bodies, because we're in this body, and therefore we think this is everything. This is real. What I'm feeling and experiencing is real. But another person standing next to us who had a whole different set of experiences growing up will perceive that same thing different. So what makes it that my experience is real and theirs is not because their experience is different? We're still biologically human. You're both biologically humans, And as far as hormones go, regardless of what's going on in your head, it doesn't matter what's going on in your head. What your head is trying to tell you you need to do, the biology is what's real. Your body is real. Your body was born either male or female. Unless you're intersex, I don't even like to throw that in there, because that is an actual obvious physical change in the body where it's different. Whereas most trans people, it's made up in the mind. It is a concept made up in the mind because of experience, like what happened to me and what happened to every other trans person. No one is born with a different mind in their body. That just doesn't work that way. Biology is biology. If you're born in a male body with testicles, that means you are male. That is immutable. You are male. No matter what happens in your childhood experience that causes you to develop the belief that you are something different, you are still male physically. And therefore your physical body demands male hormones to function properly. You will not be happy living your life, experiencing things through your body, if your body is not functioning properly. And this is what a lot of trans people experience. They go on cross-sex hormones, and next thing they know, after a few years, their body starts shutting down. It starts not functioning properly. And when this happens, all of a sudden, their experience in the world changes, because now they're experiencing everything in the world from a body that does not function properly and doesn't feel good anymore. And so what started out as a happy thing to transition and feel all this great emotional mind stuff going on, telling them, oh, I'm happy now because now I'm living as a female. After a while, their body starts shutting down from taking hormones that don't belong in their body. And now they're like, oh no, now my experience is not happy anymore. I'm not feeling good in my body anymore. What does this mean? I'm still not happy. I'm still depressed. And so then they might detransition, trying to find that happiness again. And now they've made permanent changes to their body like I did. And now, even though I'm living as a man, my body's not producing the hormones it demands as a male body. And so I have to go to specialists to get hormones replaced in my body now. And it's a crazy path to take, all based on a belief in the mind. The body is the truth. The body, the biology of how you were born, that is what is reality. Things that are made up in the mind are only made up in the mind because of experience, because of trauma. I don't even like to use the word trauma, because a lot of people hear that and say, I didn't have any trauma, my childhood was great. But the more you talk to them and the more you hear where their mother was in the picture, where their father was in the picture, it builds a picture that, yes, you did have trauma, you just didn't identify it as trauma. It didn't feel like trauma at the time, but your mother was not around, or your mother did these things that caused you to develop these beliefs about yourself. Every single person, rather than just attaching to the identity that they've become, should analyze what caused your identity to form and whether your identity is actually serving you to your best ability, best capability in this life based on what happened to you as a child. Your identity was formed. You are not born with an identity. You're born as a clean slate, as a baby that is now in a world that is experiencing things, experiencing feelings and emotions through this physical body that you've now received as a baby. That is what forms identity. Experience forms identity. Identity is not something you're born with. And so an attachment to an idea that you are a female is something that developed in childhood. If you were born actually biologically female, you grow up in that body, in that experience, and it just feels right to most people. If it doesn't feel right to you, it's because you had early childhood experiences that caused you to believe that it's not right. It does not mean that you were actually born in the wrong body. That is a belief that happens through a sequence of experiences in early childhood life. Sequences you don't even remember. Sequences that programmed your identity in a way that when you stand here looking at yourself, you think this is just who you are. It's not just who you are. A kid who claims they are a different sex, it's not real. It's something that happened in their mind through a sequence of experiences, very early experiences. Many trans people develop the belief that they're trans or in the wrong body at the age of around 4. It was, for me, when I was around the age of 4, I felt like that was when I identified, I'm in the wrong body. I should have been born a girl. It was only because experiences leading up to that point caused me to develop that identity. Again, identity is something that develops over time. You're a clean slate as a baby, and you develop identity through experience. And so to take hormones that defy your own biology is just plain ignorant. It's something that is sold so much by the trans community as an answer to your problems. This will change you to be the sex that you identify as. That's insane. That's insanity. Taking hormones in a body that was born a different sex will never change it to be that sex. No amount of surgeries will never cause the body to be the sex that you identify as. It can look like it, you can have all the surgeries in the world, take hormones, changes will happen to your body, but only on a surface level. Inside, your body is still either male or female, whatever you were born as, whatever your body formed as in the womb. If it formed male in the womb, you will be male forever in this life, not forever. See, I was taught in the Mormon church that if I was born male, that meant that I was male in the pre-existence, had this male identity in the pre-existence, then came to earth as a male, and that then after I die, I'm going to be male again for all of eternity. This really screwed with my mind as I was growing up, like, but I want to be a mother someday. I want to experience what it's like to be a girl, to be a mother. I want to have babies someday. How is this possible that I can be male forever? And it felt like a prison sentence, like a life term. Like, not just life, but for eternity. Can you comprehend what eternity is? Most people can't, unless you've experienced the sensation of timelessness and being trapped in eternity for an eternal space, which pretty much only psychedelics can give you that experience. And if you've never had that experience, you can't comprehend what eternity is. People try to tell stories of what eternity is, but the reality is no one can really understand what eternity is, because we live on this earth that is ruled by time, and we're used to the passing of time, and nobody can really comprehend what eternity is. But when you think about what eternity is and you're told that you're going to be who you are for all of eternity, that really screws with a person. And I think that played a lot into my trans need to transition. Because I felt like if this is the only life I have on this earth and I want to experience being a woman, I got to get on with it. And I was so happy that I had the surgery before I was 40 years old, because I thought, I want to do this before I'm 40 years old. I want to experience being a woman in my 30s. But it's not reality. Reality is the biology that one is born with. And that biology demands the hormones that are true to what it was formed as. I was formed male, my body demands testosterone. A female who was born female, formed in the womb female, that body now demands estrogen because it naturally formed to produce estrogen. It now demands the estrogen. It's kind of like being a mechanic, as I am. I always liken things to cars and engines. It's like an engine being designed to run on gasoline, but you try putting diesel fuel in it, hoping it will change into a diesel engine. It's never going to work, and it's not going to run. It is not going to run properly. You put a little diesel in there, it will keep running, but it will make all this smoke, and eventually it will break the engine down. That's how the human body is. The body is like an engine that was formed to run on one kind of fuel. You cannot fuel it with a different kind of fuel and expect it to run properly. It might make you feel better, like when I was a kid and put diesel fuel in my family's lawnmower because I thought I wanted a diesel lawnmower. It didn't run. It was a delusion in my mind. Just like trying to put the wrong sex hormones in your body is a delusion. It's a delusion that was formed in experience. Your body demands the hormones it was born to produce and need. End of story. I was euphoric when I first started on female hormones because I thought that's what I needed. I thought that's what was gonna make me happy and feel safe in my body. But when my body started to shut down because it was being fed the wrong hormones, then my experience changed and I was no longer happy and feeling good about myself and feeling good about this experience. I just wanted to share those thoughts with you all. I love you all. I love everybody. I want everybody to have the experience they need and the happiness and love for themselves that they need. That is the answer. Learning to love yourself exactly the way you are. There is nothing else. Trying to change your physical body to match this belief in your mind that your body needs to align with a certain way or certain look in order to be happy, that's not real. What's real is your biology. What's real is that you were blessed with a beautiful body to experience this life in. It is beautiful just the way it is. It is capable just the way it is. In fact, it is more capable if you support it in existing the way it formed. You will not be happy if you try to change your body. That's not what happiness is. Happiness is finding true love of self. Love for what you have. Love for the present moment. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like the video. I will make more. Your body demands the hormones it was born to produce and need. End of story.